Greetings and salutations, good people. Welcome to the realm of Elveston in Lower New England, Australia. I want to talk to you about Mexican coffee dust. That's right, Woolies, Mexican coffee dust. Trust Mexican coffee dust? Sure can. This is the cheap stuff that Lord Reags buys. It hasn't got a great taste, but here is my reasons. You know little Greta, who's complaining about the planet and the state in which the grandparents and the great-grandparents of the universe have left the world in, with all the plastics floating in the ocean? Well, now the grandparents and the great-grandparents are doing their little bit to make up for those mistakes of the past and to make little Greta happy. So I'm compromising, along with all the other grandparents and great-grandparents on planet Earth, to compromise quality for quantity. Here's why. It's not a matter of taste for me. My little few cups of coffee a day mean a lot to me, but I've actually tried just having hot water and a spoonful of sugar stirred vigorously anti-clockwise 17 times, and that is a nice feeling. It's also very good for you. But then again, when I can have a little bit of coffee, and I'll show you what this coffee dust is like. It's not very good. It's very poor quality, but this is what it's like. Okay, can you see that? It's okay, it's just coffee dust. Okay, if you put hot water into it and you add a few spoons of sugar and some milk and you stir it vigorously in Lord Reags' anti-clockwise direction, stirred vigorously 17 or 18 times, it's okay. You know, it's better than nothing. I am doing this to save the planet because this is a 500-gram tin of Mexican coffee powder or coffee dust, Woolies brand, and Lord Reags loves shopping at Woolies. Now, this lasts Lord Reags about 4 weeks, about 24 days, costing $7 a tin. It's about 30 cents a day value. So my coffee intake is only costing the planet 30 cents a day versus some folks' $25 coffee intake a day at work, which is about $125 a week that they spend routinely. Some will buy a coffee at McDonald's on the way to work. They'll have a coffee al fresco with their friends at work at morning tea, at lunch, afternoon tea, on the way home. Think of all the styrofoam cups and lids Lord Reags has prevented going to landfill simply by settling on this inferior grade Mexican coffee dust at home in the same glass coffee mug. Okay, it's a little bit dirty, but it's acceptable quality for me too. I wash it about once a week. Don't tell anyone. But you know, my stomach has a cast iron constitution. Speaking of the Constitution, think of how many styrofoam cups are going to the landfill and ending up in the oceans of the world because people are not taking their own cup to work, not settling on Lord Reags' second best coffee dust in the office kitchen, and the bosses should be providing tea and coffee. I'll just put this aside for a moment. I'm pleading with you, good people of planet Earth, take your own cup to work and you'll be spreading less germs. You'll be doing the right thing. Accept inferior quality coffee for the planet. Join Lord Reags' campaign to save planet Earth and make Greta happy, because here's the kicker. If you settle on inferior grade quality coffee, you will be saving approximately $6,500 a year, because those coffees that you're buying routinely at work are costing you $125 a week, $6,500 a year. That is $65,000 every decade. And by 2040, you could be saving yourself and your family $130,000. That's a small farm in the rural areas of New South Wales, Australia. And I'd encourage all of you overseas to discover God's country, and that is indeed Australia, and immigrate legally to Australia and bring your talents and your business ideas with you. We'd love to have you down under. But just think, that's the savings you could earn yourselves, $130,000 in 20 years by cutting back on your coffee intake or the quality of your coffee intake and just having 30 cents a day of coffee dust. It's a big sacrifice, I know, but it's better than going cold turkey and giving up coffee completely. How many coffees a day do I have? Well, in all honesty, I probably have 5 or 6. I have about 2 in the evening, maybe 3 through the day, and maybe 1 in the morning to make me wake up. And that's not great, but old habits die hard. So join me in my appeal to save the planet. My yearly cost to the planet in terms of my coffee intake, my coffee footprint, if you will, is only $109.50 every year versus everybody else's in corporate world, $6,500. And you know how many styrofoam cups they're sending to landfill, each of them a year? How does this grab you? 1,200 coffee cups and lids. Some can be recycled, admittedly, but say only 50% can be recycled. That's still 600 coffee cups and lids going to landfill, and we all know that half of those will end up floating around in the ocean. You've seen the video footage of the sea animals being dragged up and having their stomachs opened, and you see all the horrible plastics being dragged out of their gizzards. It's harrowing stuff. We shouldn't be doing that to God's creatures of the oceans, people. So, make some commitments this New Year's Eve for 2021. Change your lifestyle just a little bit. Compromise a little bit on what you spend with the barista. And I'm sorry, baristas of the world, you guys have to tighten your belts as well. You guys just have to cop it. You've got to come up with solutions to stop sending so many styrofoam cups and lids to landfill and ultimately, in a worst case scenario, the oceans. So baristas, don't bite my head off. I'm only thinking of the planet. Okay? This is Lord Reags, the Lord Protector of the Antipodes, and on this occasion, planet Earth, wishing you a very happy 221. Merry Christmas, keep safe, and consider the inferior quality Mexican coffee dust to save the planet. Thank you for listening and watching, and follow Lord Reags on Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, and Parler. Go Trump.